Our government operates under cooperative federalism in which the powers and policy assignments are shared by the federal government and the state government. This resembles a marble cake in that the powers are not concretely defined in layers, but rather both the federal government and the state government share these powers. An example of this is the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, in which, while education is under the state government, the federal government influences the state government by providing money in order to enforce policies and regulations. The federal government influences the state government primarily through providing money, and this is what fiscal federalism is. Fiscal federalism is the pattern of spending, taxing, and providing grants in the federal system in order to influence the state government. And this is these are done through grants and aid or funds appropriated by Congress for distribution to state and local governments. There are three types of grants that the federal government provides. The first one is a categorical grant. Out of a list of topics or a list of areas that the federal government can provide grants to, the federal government picks one and then distributes the money to be used in that specific category. One example, there are two types of categorical grants. The first one is the project grant. These grants are the most common categorical grants and are awarded on the basis of competitive applications. One specific example is the NSF. The NSF does projects that create inventions and increase the technology we have and improve on what we have. And this the money is awarded to these projects specifically and not to be used elsewhere. The other type of categorical grant is the formula grant. These do not affect who receives the money, but rather how much they receive. And it's based on the population or per capita income or the percentage of rural population or other categories that determine how much is received. Another type of way that the federal government influences the state government is through block grants. Block grants are given over a broad area of categories to support and can be used in any one of these categories. Examples are community development or social security services. The third type of way that the federal government influences the state government under fiscal federalism is through mandates. This is saying that the state government must implement these policies, else they don't receive the money. Now, this is the most disliked out of all three ways of funding because usually the federal government does not provide enough money for the state government to implement the policies and causes more burdens than the benefits that are received. Examples of this are the American with Disabilities Act, in which universities were required to implement or make universities more accessible to the disabled, but they weren't really given much money or given any money to implement these policies.